How's it going, everyone? My name is Zulu, and today I'm going to show you how to make the most amazing lemon meringue pie. You don't want to miss this one. Let's get started. Alright, so we're going to kick things off by making the sweet pastry dough. This is so simple and it tastes great. In the food processor, combine together 120 grams of softened unsalted butter, not melted, just softened, along with 55 grams of caster sugar, and process it all together until it's nice and creamy. Then crack in 1 egg along with half a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste or vanilla extract, and process again until it's well combined and it looks something like this. And now add in half the flour and pulse together until nice and smooth. Then add in the rest of the flour, and then pulse it together a few more times until a dough is formed. The reason I add the flour in 2 stages is 1, it's easier to incorporate, and 2, it reduces the chances of you overworking the dough. And now tidy wrap the pastry up in cling film and put in the fridge overnight to rest. Now the dough's resting, our next job is to make the lemon curd. This is so simple and delicious. So into a heat-proof bowl, you want to crack in 3 whole eggs along with the zest and the juice from 3 lemons. Then right after that, add in 150 grams of caster sugar and 30 milliliters of double cream. Then whisk it together until smooth. Then place it over a pan of simmering water. And by the way, make sure the water is not touching the bottom of the bowl unless you like sweet lemony scrambled eggs, which I'm guessing that you don't. And you want to make sure that you're whisking this constantly, otherwise it may catch on the bottom of the bowl. And you want to heat it up to 75 degrees Celsius, then remove from the heat immediately. And then start whisking 115 grams of cold cube unsalted butter, only add a few cubes at a time, whisking it constantly to make sure the butter incorporates into the curd properly. And the more you whisk, the lighter the texture of the curd is going to be at the end. And then once all the butter is evenly incorporated, that's it. That's how you make lemon curd. And at this stage, you can eat the lemon curd exactly like that, but I like to pass the lemon curd through a fine mesh sieve. This will improve the texture, making the lemon curd ultra smooth and glossy, so when it hits your tongue, it just dissolves. And then pour the lemon curd straight into a pint bag, and then I like to tie a knot on the top of the pint bag just to make sure the filling doesn't come out the top, and then put it in the fridge overnight to give it time to firm up so you're able to pipe it. Now, it's the next day, the pastry is fully rested, we're ready to make our tart cases. So now you want to grease 4 tart rings with some unsalted butter, then right after, lightly coat them in some all-purpose flour and tie off the excess. And you want to make sure you leave no flourless spots, and then put them in the fridge for about an hour or so, just to give the butter time to firm up. Now, lightly dust your bench with some flour, and you're going to start to work the dough out of it just to make it more pliable. Then roll the pastry out until it's about 6 millimeters in thickness. And you want to cut out 4 circular discs of pastry, making sure it's 2 centimeters wider than the tart ring you're using. And you can always reuse the scraps, don't throw it away. Now get one of your discs that you cut out before and roll it out again until you achieve a thickness of 3 millimeters. Then lay it on top of your tart ring that you greased before and ease it in, just rotating the ring as you're going. This bit takes a bit of practice, so just take your time, but eventually you should have something like this. But I must admit, this is not the easiest thing in the world to do, so just take your time, try your best. And you're just going to repeat this for the remaining tartlets. And now you're going to put these in the freezer for about an hour to 2 hours, until the pastry is nice and firm. By freezing the pastry, it reduces the chances of the pastry shrinking, which is obviously a good thing, isn't it? And now pre-oven to 170 degrees Celsius, and we're going to blind bake these tart shells. And to do that, it's pretty straightforward. First, cut yourself 4 square sheets of parchment paper, scroll up into a bowl, then open it up again, place it into your tart cases, then fill up your tart cases with some pie weights of your choosing. I'm using ceramic baking beads. And bake the pastry for about 10 to 15 minutes until the pastry turns a nice light golden brown. And now whilst we're waiting for the pastry to cook, we're just going to make a nice simple egg wash. So combine together 1 egg with 14 milliliters of double cream and mix that together, and that's your egg wash sorted. Nice and simple. And then once the tart cases come out of the oven, allow them to cool down a bit to firm up, then remove the pie weights, and then right after remove the rings. Then egg wash the outside and the inside of the tart shells. The reason I like to do both is for 1, colour, and 2, it seals any gaps if there are any. And put them back in the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes until gorgeous golden brown. And then before using, allow the tart cases to cool down fully room temperature on a wire rack. And now just before assembling it, if you wanted to neaten the tart shell, just use a microplane to do so. Just run it back and forth, back and forth. Take your time with this and don't rush it. But more importantly, let the microplane do the work. And once you're happy with how the tart case looks, get your lemon curd and fill the tart case up right to the top. And then put the tarts in the fridge to give the curd time to firm up. And in the meantime, we're going to make the Italian meringue. If you're stressing out, there's no need to be. It's so simple. Combine together 80 grams of egg whites, which is approximately 2 egg whites, along with 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. This is a stabilizer. It prevents the egg white from being over whipped. You can basically buy this in any large supermarket. And now just forget about the egg whites for a sec. We're going to make a sugar syrup first. In a saucepan, combine together 160 grams of caster sugar with 40 milliliters of water. And you want the sugar to be thoroughly hydrated with the water. No dry spots. Then place it over medium-low heat, place it on it, and cook it until the sugar is completely dissolved. And continue to cook the syrup until it reaches 118 degrees Celsius. And now remove the pan from the heat and you're going to allow the bubbles to disperse. And in the meantime, you're going to start beating your egg whites until you achieve soft peaks. And now, once the bubbles in the syrup have dispersed, start to slowly pour the syrup into the egg whites, making sure the mixer is running at low speed. It's very important that you don't rush this step, take your time. If you do rush this step and you add the syrup all at once, the syrup won't incorporate into the meringue properly, and further down the road it will split.
You've been warned, my child.
And once all the syrup has been incorporated, turn the speed up to high and continue beating until you achieve glossy stiff peaks and the bowl is completely cool to touch. And once stiff, stop beating and add in half a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste and beat again until combined. And that's how you make Italian meringue. And now add the Italian meringue to a pint bag, fill it with a large circular tip that's about 1.5 to 2 centimeters wide, and then get your lemon tart out of the fridge and pipe the Italian meringue on top. And by the way, the meringue can be stored in the freezer. It doesn't freeze. And then just to finish it off, get your blowtorch, put it on full power, and torch the Italian meringue all over until you achieve a gorgeous golden brown colour. Make sure you don't burn it, as it is really easy to do so. If you don't have a blowtorch, just pop the tart under a red hot grill. I mean red hot, the hottest your oven can go. Just for a few seconds, nothing longer, just until you get a nice colour on the meringue. And then that's it. And now let's cut this thing open and see how we did. So first and foremost, make sure your knife is red hot by dipping in some boiling water. That way you're going to get a nice clean cut, but don't forget to wipe off the excess water. And then cut it straight down the center. And look at that. Look at the layers. That is what you call a lemon meringue pie. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's lemon meringue pie recipe. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe to my channel for more recipes just like this one. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. And I'll see you guys very soon. See you next time.